215 mil on the left side, 215 mil on the right. That's perfectly centered. What do you reckon? How cool is that? G'day, Jafffa Adventures. Terry King here. Welcome to the channel. I have recently retired, and that was my retirement gift. And I could not think of a better gift. It was just unbelievable. It actually brought tears to my eyes. So given the fact that Jill and I have a little bit of spare time on our hands now compared to when we were working full time, that's going to open up a world of opportunities for 2023. You want to see what's in store for us and for you? Stick around. Geez, the cruiser's even got a sexy ass with that number plate. Awesome. So this short video is about 2023 and what 2023 holds for us and holds for you as viewers of Jafffa Adventures. To be honest, this is the first time I've ever done one of these, hey, let's kick off the year type videos. Because I really didn't know what was going to happen with the YouTube channel. Was it going to resonate with viewers? Was I going to continue enjoying putting content together? All of those sorts of questions. And the answer to those questions for at least the next 12 months is yes, absolutely. So what does that actually mean? You'll know that I put out content every Friday at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And that won't change. That regular cadence will still occur. For the regular viewers of Jafffa Adventures, you know that the content broadly sits into 4 buckets, or 4 categories of content, if you want to call it. And the first category is all about my 4-wheel drive, this 200 series. There's a whole library on maintenance videos and modification videos for a 200 series, and I'm going to continue to fill that library with some content. From small things like a cheap and simple hack on how to fit these rear window shades on your 200, to marginally more complex things like how to replace your windscreen wipers, to much more technical things like how to read and interpret the injector values that your VDJ engine throws out at you. So if you're here because you've enjoyed the Toyota 200 series stuff, there'll be more of that in 2023. The second bucket or category of things that I like to feature on this channel are all about old cars, either restorations or revivals or reviews, anything automotive to do with 4 wheels. And if it's got a V8 in it, even better. And in the category of old vehicles and vehicle revivals and restorations, I've got a really exciting series for you starting next Friday at 3 p.m. Have you ever seen that television series called Overhauling? Well, the Jafffa Adventures crew and I, over the next 5 episodes, will be doing a complete overhaul on a 1981 LJ81 Suzuki Stockman, and the owner doesn't know a thing about it. So if you like things with 4 wheels, you'll love that one. It's got a really heartwarming story behind it. And last but not least, I have not forgotten about the old FJ45. I still continue to make some progress on this one. At the moment, I've got a couple of projects on the go. I'm fitting a 79 series bonnet scoop on the bonnet. I've got a 60 series radiator here, and I'm fitting up a cooling system to this vehicle. And very shortly, for an exhaust, I'm getting a couple of custom stacks manufactured. So if the old FJ45 videos are one of the things that brought you to the channel, stick around because there'll be more of that to come as well. While we're still on the category of 4 wheels, I've got a barn find Toyota Stout that's been sitting in an old shed collecting dust for decades. See that little creek there? Time to walk across that. See that little shit hut in the background? That's our destination. Let's see what we've got over there. My intention is to drag that out of the shed, clean her up, and see whether we can actually get this thing running after decades of neglect. That'll be the first barn find revival will it run type video that I've done before, so that one will be pretty cool. The third broad category of items are all things camping related. And what I'd like to share with you in 2023 are some of the things that we haven't done in the past. Like, for example, what's the type of camera gear that we use to document our travel videos? Or what's all the fuss about these 12-volt Travel Buddy ovens? Are these things actually any good? And can you modify them and get a little bit more performance out of them? You might be surprised to know that the answer to that is yes. But by far and away, the most exciting thing for us for 2023 relates to my retirement. What can retirement give you? It can give you a lot of free time. And Jill and I intend to use that free time traveling to the max. And the good thing is that we're still relatively young, so we can do some of that remote, exciting, extreme, adventurous type stuff rather than hopping on a cruise ship and waiting in a line for a lift. In 2023, Jill and I will be on the road for probably a total of 6 or 7 months. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So our first trip, and it's only going to be about 5 or 7 days, will be with the Jafffa crew over on Morton Island. Shortly thereafter, Jill and I make a beeline for Adelaide. We're going to spend a little bit of time visiting some friends in Adelaide, then we're going to jump straight over to the Eyre Peninsula, and we'll start our adventure trip proper in Port Lincoln. There we're going to be diving with great white sharks and with seals, which will be totally awesome. We will then slowly traverse across the Nullarbor, finding all of the four-wheel drive tracks that we can, down to southwest WA. And we want to see all those cool places like the Bilbunya Dunes, Israelite Bay, all the beaches around Esperance, all that sort of cool coastal stuff that WA has to offer. From there, we're going to make our way north all the way up to Exmouth. And this was actually the genesis of this entire WA trip. On April the 20th at 11:57 a.m., a total solar eclipse is going to pass just outside of Exmouth, and we are going to be there for that. I've never seen a total solar eclipse before, and I can't wait. Once we finish up around that Carnarvon coast, we're going to spend a month in the Pilbara region, exploring all of those really cool, out-of-the-way places that the Pilbara has to offer. We're then going to spend a month traveling solo up the Canning Stock route from Wiluna all the way up to Halls Creek. Once we finish the Canning Stock route, we're going to spend a month up in the Kimberley, again checking out all those cool gorges and those remote four-wheel drive tracks. And we're going to check out some of the stations as well, like the iconic El Questro. We've also booked in for one of those horizontal falls tours out of Derby, which will be just awesome. Once we finish up in the Kimberley, we make a beeline back home to Brisbane. And in Brisbane, we'll recharge our domestic batteries. We then have a week-long trip with some of the Jafffa crew over to Bali, which will be awesome. I've never been to Indonesia before. And then at the end of the year, we're heading over to Tasmania with the scooters. And we're actually not planning that trip at all. The young fellas are doing all of the planning, and we're simply going to tag along with them, which will be super cool. So if you've happened across the Jafffa Adventures channel because of the travel-related videos, that's going to be a really big chunk of what happens for Jafffa Adventures in 2023. Yes, there is one other video coming your way. Again, for regular viewers, you would have seen about a year ago that I monetized the channel. And that was a little bit of an experiment to see whether monetizing the channel would actually grow my subscriber base and increase the number of views as opposed to an unmonetized channel. I'll have those results for you in an upcoming video. Along the same theme, you'll recall that I committed to taking that entire 12 months of revenue and donating that to charity, plus $2,000 out of my back pocket. How much did that add up to, and which charity is going to get that money? Stay tuned and you'll see that one coming up. 2022 was an amazing year for Jafffa Adventures. The Simpson Desert trip on our motorbikes was an absolute highlight for all of us. And if you haven't seen that series, get in that library and have a look, because that was super cool. That's what our plans look like for 2023, and I trust those Jafffa Adventures subscribers will continue to follow along and enjoy the content. So you might be an old Jafffa Adventures hand. Maybe you've been around for a year or two with us. You might be brand new. And you know what? Maybe after this conversation, you might say, actually, it's time for me to part ways with Jafffa Adventures. That doesn't sound like something that I'm interested in. Regardless of where you sit, I trust you have an amazing 2023. The year will be as good as you make it. My advice to you, for whatever it's worth, is don't be like a piece of driftwood floating down the stream and letting the current take you where it wants to take you. You go where you want to go. How do you do that? You make the commitment and you make it happen. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week when we kick off with that Suzuki Stockman restoration and we have a little bit of overhaul and fun with a very close mate. Until then, look after each other and keep the shiny side up. Bye now.